Welcome back to Urban X TV.
Yes, Urban X TV.
Got the Black Dot back here with us.
Always.
So before we get into this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that little bell button down there so you can know as soon as a new video comes up, new interview comes up. We have a lot more in store for for the subscribers. So stay tuned for that. But for right now, we're going to discuss some current events.
Always good to keep the people abreast about what's going on in our community.
And a lot of people like to hear what's on your mind. So let's get into it. So yesterday it was a report that JayZ turned down the Super Bowl for this coming up to perform. So what did how did you feel about that?
The way JayZ thinks, I can't get into his mind, but I was surprised because JayZ usually would jump at an opportunity, to show that, for you guys to basically watch the throne. You know what I'm saying, in terms of how he does things. But it could be a political stance against what's happening to Kaepernick or just what's going on in general. This new JayZ, or what we say is the one who's more grown and, things of that nature, may have a different agenda, because I was surprised, because usually after you do the Super Bowl, not that he needs any more fame and fortune, but that's the highest that you can possibly achieve. And there's always rituals tied to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? For our people out there, you know what I'm saying? Beyonce and the Janet Jackson pulling of the titty of the, Justin Timberlake, all of that be ritualistic. One time Beyonce performed and the lights went out. I think it was the 49ers.
That was 49ers.
Right. I know people say it's not connected and this and that, but when them lights came back on, Baltimore won that game and they was down big.
No, what happened? Baltimore was killing.
Oh, right. Baltimore was killing.
And then 49ers almost came back.
One play away from winning that Super Bowl, which was very weird. The next year she performed, we know she did the formation. She paid homage to the Black Panthers. And people don't realize that was the 50th Super Bowl, right? And it was in Oakland, which is the home of the birth of the Black Panthers. And they had a quarterback whose last name was Newton, the Panthers, who had the Black Panther on their helmet, a quarterback named Newton, who I believe was born the same year Huey Newton died. So there were a lot of, pieces that was connected, and people thought I was a little reaching when I was saying this is going to be a ritual, and if you're a betting man, don't bet on Peyton Manning. Don't bet on Cam, bet on Peyton Manning. And then the Super Bowl happened, and Beyonce comes out and basically confirmed what I felt by doing the tribute to the Black Panthers. So we know that there is a connection going on. So JayZ may have feel that he don't want to get involved with that because he's in the know. He know what time it is. Or he's making a very powerful stand by losing money and things of that nature, because something of that magnitude probably could take him over the top.
He would have been a flat-out hypocrite by performing, because he just said, I think I was at Made in America, Cam Newton, we with you, this for you, and things like that. So,
you mean Kaepernick?
Yeah, Kaepernick.
Right.
So if he would have performed at the Super Bowl, I didn't.
Okay, so there it is. So it is a political stance. Yeah. And, to reiterate what I said about Cap, I support Cap. Mm-hmm. Because on our last video, I said if he plays again, he's a sellout, and people didn't understand what I was talking about. Right. Sometimes your stance, if it's bigger than football, then how can the end result be football? Right. So if this is bigger than football, this stance you're taking, then whether you play or not is irrelevant. You've taken a stance. You've already created a movement. You've already put something in motion. And you would let everybody down if I saw you on the sideline, or back in the huddle talking about, not saying that you can't play. Because he's an average quarterback. Let's keep it real. He's not a superstar quarterback, but he's good enough to play in the NFL. That was never in question. They didn't fire him because he wasn't good enough to play, right, and then hired mediocre quarterbacks behind him. They got on him because he took a stance. Right. You know what I mean? And he didn't sign an extension. He had an opportunity. Mm-hmm. He the one who decided to test himself on the open market after making a political stance of that nature is almost like suicide, mm-hmm, right? So his stance to me, is more powerful. And that's what I said. If I see him at Burger King, it's not the fact that he got a lower standard job. It's the fact that he would be willing to do anything else but play football so that his movement can stay alive. Because he, you know what I mean? If he doesn't and he backtracks, then what was it all for? And now you have JayZ and other people coming out and supporting them, and they throw money at Jay to see what Jay gonna do. And Jay now has to say, I can't take that bread because it makes me look hypocritical and everybody who rock with me look hypocritical.
Right. And I feel like the NFL now, they're not even hiding their disdain for Kaepernick. Like the owner for the Philadelphia Eagles came out and was basically, saying like we would never sign Cap because of his stance. But a lot of people don't remember they re-signed a wide receiver.
The wide receiver.
Who
what's his name? Jordan, I forget his name, but he the one who said nigga.
Yeah.
He was at a concert. Riley,
yeah.
Something Riley is the quarterback, the wide receiver's name, and he was at one of them rock and roll concerts, one of them Ted Nugent concerts, you know what I mean, and said, I'll jump this fence and fight every nigga here. And he didn't get no flack for that, or they re-signed him, you know what I mean, and that's a direct racist statement for him to make, and the team rallied around him, just like the people rallying around Kaepernick. But it goes to show you the power. This is the good old boy. So when we say this is a plantation, people take that literally. No, we don't mean literal plantation. For that matter, we all on the plantation if we work a job. We're talking a mental plantation where they can do whatever they want by beginning by marching you out there in your underwear, looking at your biceps, you know what I mean, and seeing how fast you can run, how you can jump and how many weights you can push and this and that, and decided that's the nigga I want. Still nigga. You know, they throw some white boys in there too, but it's 70% black people. That's the engine. That melanin is what drives this particular industry, and they scatter you out because if all the brothers say, yo, we not playing, the NFL will collapse in a day.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then the brothers themselves will be out of work. You know what I'm saying? Their multi-million-dollar homes and businesses would collapse. So it's a sticky situation. And that's why what Des Bryant said was true, because it's a snapshot of how most Americans feel. I fuck with you. I do. But yo, I'm making 100 stacks on my job. I really can't because now, I got some things in motion, a mortgage, my child, my children are in school, my car. And that's the issue, as opposed to in the 50s and 60s when they would just give it all up.
And it's tough for an athlete, I think, for us to ask an athlete to give up their livelihood. Even though they make a lot of money, a lot of them, especially in the NFL, the average career length is only like 3 to 4 years.
Absolutely.
And we know NFL, like you work your whole life for the NFL. It's not
absolutely you've invested. You put everything in that one basket.
Yeah, right.
For you to make it, you know that how many girlfriends you lost, how many friends you lost, how much you had to personally sacrifice for an opportunity to be on that field when them lights come on, and to ask them to give up their life dream because you decided to take a political stance is not fair.
Right.
So us on the outside who making $9 an hour, it's easy for us to say, man, they should all just walk away, and that's not reality.
Right.
That's not the way reality works. You know what I mean? So I do understand strength are in numbers, and if we wanted to boycott collectively, you know what I'm saying? Because I joked and said I like football, and I'm not lying. I watch football and I like football. But if the movement is in place, I'm with the people. I'm always with the people. But the movement is not in place. It's too scattered. A few people, a few trolls online always got something to say or what they would and would not do. But you're not walking away from $50 million, $60 million. You know what I mean? And don't tell me the money is not worth the paper it's printed on, because I've been saying that for years. But yet at the end of the day, we're still pursuing it. Right? So we're hypocritical, myself included, in those kind of statements, because at the end of the day, I needed to pay my mortgage. You needed to pay your phone bill. You know what I mean? So it is something that we pursue. And for us, if I'm making $12 an hour, I can walk away. Yeah, sure. 50 million? It's a lot of bread. You know what I mean?
So we're going to switch topics. So you in the news, you heard about Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, yes.
He got caught up.
Ouch.
And apparently he's getting extorted.
Yes.
And for like $10 million, I think the number was.
$10-15 million.
So I think. So what was your initial thoughts on that?
My initial thoughts, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
These are industry moguls, so to speak. Kevin Hart was riding a wave, a super wave, a tidal wave, so to speak, of comedy specials, movies. And while I don't agree with the roles he portrayed in these movies, which are kind of coonish, you know what I mean? But comedy is comedy.
Right.
And he's following the road of every black comedic who had to take that route, standing next to a white guy. The white guy is usually the guy who's straightforward or doing this, and you got to play the one that's funny and comedic and falls on its face. And, but you're a cop and you might, shoot somebody at the end of the movie or whatever the case may be. And whenever you speak to Kevin Hart about anything political, he says, I'm straight down the middle. He makes no qualms about that. I'm just here to make you laugh. I don't want to get involved. But you still, make a lot of bread. And there are people out here who are looking to extort celebrities like you all day. And these so-called thoughts are not as dumb as you think they are. So now, it used to be a time, just the fact that you was a celebrity, the thought was, just happy to give you a little brain or bend over, and that was something on her belt, a notch on her belt. No, these thoughts are thinking advanced now. I want to live the life you live in. You know what I mean? And I will go to the extreme and set up cameras to get you in an uncompromising position. You know what I'm saying? To make that's industry. That's almost industry standard in Hollywood. They film you. J. Edgar Hoover started that. Right. J. Edgar Hoover started filming all of the congressmen and, actors, everybody, so that he had information on them, to put them in uncompromising positions, including Dr. King, who was screwing white women, smoking cigarettes. He might have even doing coke. We don't know, right? So we know that for a fact because he had the tapes. Right. But he did that to everybody so that whenever he needed to put himself in a position of power, it was no problem. That then trickled down to Hollywood. So a lot of these actors and actresses you see are on tape already. I watched the one, it's a good one to watch by the No Limit Soldiers A&R, I forget his name, who sat down a lot of young artists and told them directly, I've been saying this 20 years, but he told them directly that's what happened. You go to one of these parties and you don't know, you wake up and got a sock on your penis, your ass hurt, and you don't know what happened. You know what I mean? Then when it's time to renew your contract, he said clearly, throw the motherfucking tape in. Show this nigga what he did last night. You know what I mean? Now you got a choice. You know what I'm saying? You can want that to come out, or you can play this game that they play because it's a high stakes game of billions and billions of dollars. All right? They caught Eddie Murphy with the transvestites. Right. Don't forget. Right? The list goes on and on and on of things that they do behind the scenes. A lot of times we don't hear about because a lot of these celebrities have a handler or somebody who goes and handles that. Goes behind the scene, either cuts the checks or they're in a position of power to keep their image where it needs to be. So he chose to make his move a preemptive move to come out to the public and say, hey, man, I'm sorry. To my wife and to my family, they got me, basically. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the move he chose to make. Some of them don't choose to make that move. They have people who do wet work. And wet work is when you hire a hitman or somebody to handle that business, and then there's no more, there was an extortion, and now there's no more extortion. You see what I'm saying? That goes on in Hollywood all the time.
So do you think this was industry setup or the girl?
Well, now the girl has come forward and said she had nothing to do with it. She's a victim now.
But the thing about that is just like her lawyer, the lawyer is like a...
We know who the lawyer is.
Yeah.
The lawyer takes advantage of all these situations. Yeah. And her mother is even better than her.
Yeah.
I forget their name. They always take these cases because they're easy money cases because a lot of times you just want to make it go away. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just want to make it go away. Some people say that's what happened with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson never touched that boy, who later admitted Michael never touched him. But Mike just wanted to make the shit go away. Give them 20 stacks.
Right.
And that's not an admission of guilt. And that happens all the time, too. This technology that we live in now, they can get into anybody's phone, anybody's television, anybody's, you know what I mean? So you almost have to play a game of hide and seek and keep yourself out of the limelight as much as possible so that, and this was when they gave me the breakdown of this chick, she wasn't even some high level girl. She was like, come on, Kevin.
Yeah.
Come on, Kevin. You can't operate in that manner knowing, and then you ain't get her to sign nothing to say that, you know, there's a disclosure. You know, that's why she's like, it wasn't me. It was somebody else who bugged the Hollywood room. But you got to have your people go in those rooms. You got to have them people go in your rooms, especially if you're going to do dirt.
Yeah.
They got to go in your room before you go in the room. You think the president just walks in the room? No, his team go in and they scan that room and they know what to look for and how to look for it. You know what I mean? So if you just going to be in hotel rooms, you know, that's a little amateurish. You know what I mean?
It's a little arrogant.
And a little arrogant at the same time.
Because he's been parading around with his new wife for a while, saying, you know, this is my rib, I would never, and then he got caught out there like that.
And keep in mind, the same way you meet your wife is the same way you lose her half the time, because it's obvious you was cheating on your first wife with her because the new wife put the math out there. It's been 8 years, 6 years, and boom, boom of marriage, but 8 years altogether. Wait a minute. You know what I mean? Yeah. The other wife was saying, whoa, this math don't add up.
Right.
So if the math don't add up, you was already had something in motion. And then you're going to parade your new wife out there. Listen, and I will say this. Women come at these Hollywood dudes at such a ferocious rate, and they giving it all up. It's not even funny. You know what I mean? Right. So it requires a lot for a man, you know what I mean, of that power and that stature not to knock a few things down. You know what I mean? But how you do it is really, you know what I mean, on you. Your team is supposed to be so tight that if you knock something down, it is what it is. But you got real sloppy, Kevin, real sloppy. Yeah. And as a result, now they're going to make you wear a dress. Oh, you already wore a dress, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Okay.
All right. So, one more thing. So, I think this goes back to the Eddie Griffin interview he did when he was just talking about like no black athletes, no black, entertainers like really just leave it clean, because his image prior to this was squeaky,
absolutely
for the most part. But I guess, because he wrote a book and he talked about like stuff with his first wife, but that wasn't when he got super big.
Oh, you mean Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart.
Right.
So now it kind of, his image took a real hit.
Absolutely. Eddie Griffin know what time it is. He's been in Hollywood a long time. Yeah. You're not going to leave the same way you came in unless you walk that walk, unless you truly walk that walk. And there are ways for them to do it. This is a game in Hollywood. And image is everything. I wrote that in my first book, Hip Hop Decoded, that image is everything. Your image and how people perceive you is almost greater than the life you live. So they don't attack the life you live. Sometimes they'll just attack your image. Right. You know what I mean? Bill Cosby and Cliff Huxtable were two different people. Right? Mm-hmm. Cliff Huxtable, way up here, great father, lawyer, never did nothing wrong, funny, educated, bang, bang, bang. Bill in his personal life also had a lot of those attributes, but there was a dark side to Bill. You know what I'm saying? He was human. And through all of his years through the industry, his fetish was getting chicks drugged up and piping them. Allegedly. Right? But when you drug somebody, date rape and all that, a lot of times it's about power. Yeah. It's not about, because Bill Cosby can have anybody want it. Right? But a lot of times they don't want it that way. It's too easy. It's about power. So it's some weird dynamic by drugging them, and it's a weird game played allegedly, So, image is everything, and he tried to keep a squeaky clean image. He got his boys around him he grew up with, which was tight. but we're men. You know what I'm saying? He's a man in great positions of power. Look at the women who are just ready, willing, and able at all times. Even if he with his family, it's women who will walk up to him and say, "What's good?" They have no respect for that. So it's very hard, you know what I mean? Because what happens is this power, what do I do with this power? How do I exert this power? You know what I'm saying? I should have, and that's why I don't knock Mayweather. Mayweather is just upfront with the way he chooses to live. So he got 7 girls he rock with, while you may not agree with that morally for whatever reason, because as kings, you if you can afford a wife, you can have them. He chose to be upfront and open and say, I got these 7 girls, they all with me. You know what I mean? As opposed to play the image, I have one wife, I'm clean, I'm honest, I'm pure. And then behind the scenes, there's something else going on.
All right, so going to go to hip hop for a second. I don't know if you're familiar. I doubt you're familiar with the Cash Me Outside girl.
Of course, I'm familiar with the Cash Me Outside. Cash Me Outside. You know what I'm saying? It's Cash Me Outside. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
She got a record deal, and so what do you think that says about, I guess, the state of hip hop?
Listen, the state of hip hop in itself is a 4-hour lecture that I'll give one day soon. We'll do something, but that's right in tune with what's going on today. Yeah. It's not about the skilled artists who worked on their craft. It's about how can we catch a beam of light that maybe we can cash in on. So the industry itself is a joke. Look at the artists they're signing. Yeah. Look at half the artists. More than half the artists, you can tell, on something else now. So this is the drug culture. This is the pop molly culture. This is the mumble culture. This is these songs are not even hip hop songs. They're songs. You know what I'm saying? They've created their own kind of genre, and these are songs. So these are not hip hop songs. They're songs. It's a mixture of rock, mumble rap, a little bit of hip hop, a small bit of hip hop. But it just, we're in the era now where they're phasing out hip hop, and the only true ones keeping alive are J. Cole, Dave East, and a few others, Kendrick of this generation, who are standing on the principles of hip hop. But there is a war going on because Kendrick and them don't own the labels. They don't own all that stuff. So when the order comes down that this is, what we want to do, all we have to do is sign a bunch of artists who are anti that. And listen to Lonzo Ball. Nas, who? We don't listen to that shit. That's blasphemy, but it's true for this generation. This generation rock with what they rock with. This is Lil Wayne's children. These are Lil Wayne's children, as far as I'm concerned. He the one who really maybe started that, and maybe ODB's grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? In terms of just an unorthodox style, but he was hip hop to the fullest. You know what I mean? So what we see going on is a transformation. So don't call it hip hop. It's just music now. So I'm not surprised that Cash Me Outside would get some kind of record deal if Cardi B, and no disrespect because her song is slamming. Bodak Yellow is, when I'm in the car, I turns that up like, yo, this right here is crazy. And I do think she has talent, but she didn't come up through any ranks. Somebody's probably writing that for her, and she's cashing in on her celebrity, and that's what it boils down to today.
So, I ask you this all the time. So, what do you tell an aspiring rapper now?
The rappers are inspired by what they see. As an artist, you look around and you draw inspiration from what you already see and what you already hear. This is why there's going to be a new generation of mumble rappers or guys who don't follow the hip hop code because they don't want to be associated with that. That's y'all shit. We are now at 49 and 50 years old school, true old school. So now, there's always a flipping of the one generation to the next. They're trying to pave their own path. And even though hip hop is in there as the blueprint, they're trying to remove all that by making songs that are so abstract, that have nothing to do with hip hop. So the next young man sitting at home, he's only drawing off the things he see as a reference. Oh, Migos. Oh, XXX. These are the ones that's popping right now. So let me go in my bag, draw on that. And then because even some of the new artists I heard an artist the other day, I don't know his name, but he's on the same vein. When in the rapping, when in the sips of the shape, we going to jump to the shape, how gonna jump to the shape, we gonna, that's their style now. Yeah. That's the way they flow. You know what I'm saying? It ain't rhyme skills to build. It's all that's gone. You know what I'm saying? Except for even Kendrick's music, but Kendrick is so dope. You know, they can expand. J. Cole, if they expand, they still expanding within the principles of the culture. JayZ's 444 is a step in the right direction for those of us who are 50 and older, who gave up on our careers, right? Mm-hmm. They say, wait a minute. Rolling Stones, these guys are 60, 70. Perhaps I can come back to the artists who are already out, right, and put out some new music, but don't try to make it sound like what they doing. Right. Let me just do what I do and hope that the 49, 50, the whole 40 and up generation can have something they can appreciate. I want to hear about your children. I want to hear about the shit you and your wife going through. I want to hear about real shit, even if you got grandkids. That's what your music should reflect. Not you still out here pushing weight and hustling and no, that's not realistic. You know what I mean? So JayZ may have set something in motion. Now there's gonna be resistance. There's other dudes, man, I ain't with all that. I'm staying on the street. I'm still got my money on my ear. They will filter out, but there is always, if you read the tea leaves, there's always something that says, okay, well, damn, I might have one more album left in me. Right. You know, so we'll see where this goes. But to Catch Me Outside doesn't surprise me because there's an audience. She already has a built-in audience, right? So now if she puts out music, that leads to sales. I tell all these new artists, now people are trying to follow your movement. You have to create your movement, your life. People want to invest in what you're doing and how you're doing it. The music is going to be free. So the record deal is not the end result because everything is everything. So the record deal leads to you being on ESPN, leads to a commercial deal, leads to a movie, leads to a talk show. Everything, this whole culture is a gumbo now. When hip hop used to be the rebellious part and couldn't get into Hollywood and reap all those benefits, whenever you see Lil Wayne on First Take or Undisputed, that's a sign. What the hell is Lil Wayne, a druggie, who talks about what is he doing on First Take or Undisputed, giving his opinion on sports? He don't play sports. Or even if he did, it was as a kid, right? Hey. So this culture now is one big gumbo. And once you create your movement, you hit him with the album. There was one artist who was literally on the run from the police and was doing videos. Take K or something on the run, doing videos. People like that. I want to invest my time in you being on the run and you stop in the city and you drop a video and drop a clue for the police. That's reality times 10. That's real reality. And he's probably going to die.
Yeah.
Hate to say it.
Yeah, a lot of it. So that I feel like the way we consume music or the music that is being consumed now is basically what I don't want to say a problem, but the people that are their audiences, right? Mm-hmm. I think it goes to a larger problem, which I think is groupthink.
Yes.
And I think, and Charlamagne even tweeted this, like, groupthink is going to be the death of a lot of people. I
wrote it in Urban Culture Decoded. Yeah. I ain't got a book in front of me, but you understand what I mean. I covered all of this stuff. I'm not here to sell books. Yeah. I can give a shit if you buy a book from me or not. But I'm simply saying I covered the dangers of groupthink when you have a bunch of people just having, and it magnifies that thought. And it magnifies the energy that goes with that thought, right? That goes with religion, that goes with sexuality, that goes with politics. All of these are groupthink programs that the more people that think the same way about it, the more life that has. As we relate to back to music, I covered that years ago in the first book, how hearing the same songs over and over again does have an effect on you, right? It becomes a chant. You start singing along, it becomes a chant. Every radio station around the world playing the same song with 1 million kids all chanting it. That's a chant. Chanting is something we did in ancient times to bring things into reality. So you're subconsciously chanting, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. You know what I'm saying? If I don't speak, then I don't fuck with you. I sing that. So can you imagine how many people are saying, if I don't speak, I don't fuck with you? And it creates an energy that goes with it because they control all the outlets by which these songs are played. Even the internet is not going to be free in a minute. Y'all keep fucking around, right? They're going to start making you pay for your YouTube channel and pay for this because there's too much free information flowing. We're in the information age and they must control all of that. So young people who are impressionable, their favorite artist is popping Molly's and Percocets and is always high on the set. And you know what I'm saying? They believe that's a culture now. Yeah. That's a culture. A whole bunch of naked women around smacking ass is a part of the culture. For us older people, you got to deal with that. These young people do not see the stripper as below them like our generation did. I'm sorry. We was like, yo, I ain't taking you home. Here's a few dollars maybe. This generation embraces and holds these young women and their physical beauty up on a pedestal that they will bring them home and marry them, even knowing 5 other rappers ran through them. That's beside the point. We have a hard time processing that as elders. You know what I'm saying? But this generation sees nothing wrong with that. They see nothing wrong with getting their money any way they know how to get their money. You understand what I'm saying? However you get your money as long as you secure the bag. That's just this generation's mentality. I wrote about it in Urban Culture Decoded. Plug. Get your hands on it because I spoke it and laid it down in the language that they speak it so that you may understand we're dealing with a different animal with this particular generation. So sexuality, you could be male and female. They don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I went to a party recently with young people and they all look weird to me. They all look like they was men, but hey, I don't know. They all look weird to me. Very few of the men in there came in there looking like men. This is their generation. This is how they get down. They get high. You know, their sexuality could go either way. How they feel about securing the bag is up to them. I'm not suggesting I agree with that. I'm simply reporting, honestly, what I see. Look in that box right there and give me the book, bro. Okay, I put an elephant on the cover of the book for a reason because we as a collective have to deal with the elephant in the room. And most of us do not want to deal with it, especially us old school or so-called older, because we do too much this. We point the finger at this generation too much. And these are our babies. You know what I mean? Yeah, they going through a transformation just like we went through a transformation when we started splitting cigars, emptying us, puffing blunts, permanent crease jeans, bell-bottom pants, flat-top haircuts. All of that shit was off the grid. But for us, it was our style. But think about what the generation before us felt when they saw that crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Then the crack era came in, and we started having shootouts on right across the street. In my hood, dudes was right across the street having shootouts over crack cocaine. You see what I'm saying? So the transformation is going on again, and it's in conjunction with the digital era. Things are moving faster. Things are getting stranger. They're merging the cultures and society to where now music is just music. Reality is just reality. And that's what's going on. So Cash Me Outside, Getting a Deal is right in line with what's going on in this day and time.
So I saw, I've been this new rapper, he's not new. He's new to me. His name is Russ, right?
Never heard of him.
So he was an independent artist, I guess, but he makes he makes a lot of money because he has his own following, like his own genuine following that he built
from the ground up.
From the ground up. So, would you, even though his delivery when he talks about it, I guess he comes off a little, like he has a permanent chip on his shoulder he doesn't want to let go.
Okay.
But what he talks about when he talks about like building your own core audience and things like that, if you're a blogger, building your own readers, if you're a rapper, like things like that, I agree with.
Absolutely.
So he's one of those people, I think, because a lot of people don't like him because of his attitude, but I think...
Is he arrogant or something?
He's, how would I explain it? Like, he just doesn't want to let it go that people didn't rock with him when he was coming
Okay,
up.
but maybe that's that's what motivates him to do what he does. Like,
right.
Michael Jordan got cut
Yeah.
from the squad, you know what I'm saying? And has been on a vengeance his whole career. Even in his Hall of Fame speech, mentioned, you know what I'm saying, some things that happened 30 years ago. So I'm not going to knock that, but continue.
But, like, so I think that message is the best one I've heard from a rapper in a while.
Well, Tech Nine is also
right.
somebody who keeps his own following, tours, makes millions of dollars.
Right.
Shout out to my man Tones, who did an interview here with me, my longtime friend, who also so that organic following, it all depends what you after. If you after genuine fans who love your music, then that's the way you go. Too Short and them used to do that for years, selling their music out of their cars. So it's not a new aspect, Sir Mix-a-Lot, this and that. Right. A lot of times, guys want fame. And fame and fortune are two different things. Right. Even artistry. There's people who are famous who don't have an artistic bone in their body. Check Cash Me Outside. You know what I mean? So it's all dependent what you're after. If you after the fame, because remember, Chuck D said it best. Like likes, attention is the new form of currency. So when people are looking at you, you do get a charge from that. I've been on the stage with 20,000 people performing and felt like I could say and do anything. I'll put that up soon as part of the old school archives in the 90s. You know what I mean? So that charge you get when people are writing about you, when they see you, it is a high. And if that's what you're after, then sometimes that's the route you have to take so that everybody can say, look at me. But if the music is what drives you, how your music drives you, and if you get 50,000 people who buy your album and that's it, you could survive off that. If 50,000 people paid $10 every time you drop the album, let's say you drop one, maybe two a year, and then you can go perform for those 50,000 people selling T-shirts and hats and merchandise and this and that, you can survive.
And he said that in another interview. He said, I sell out 10,000 seats. He said, so when to the average listener to hear me say that, it doesn't sound a lot, but real rap, he said real artists know that's not easy.
Absolutely.
And he said, I do that by myself.
And if you do that, absolutely.
I don't have to have four other rappers on the card with me.
That's genuine love.
Right.
And I'm going to tune in for Russ now because I want to understand his story on a whole nother level because that's what it's all about. But it's all dependent if you want to be famous, because there's a lot of famous people out here who broke. And it's a lot of people who ain't famous out here who got stacks upon stacks upon stacks. You know what I mean? So it all depends how you see it and what it is that you're after.
All right, so that's another little short one we got for y'all.
Yes.
So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. We need it.
Visit the blog.
Visit the blog, urbanx.nyc. We're going to have a new team of writers that's going to be writing every day, so you better check in every day. We're getting that popping, and, you already know what it is. We're going to do I'm going to teach some private advanced hip-hop classes because I can. You know what I'm saying? So tune in. You're going to have to subscribe for that, though. We're not charging you no bread, but we want you to subscribe because we want to build our subscription and create a genuine relationship for those who want to know how deep the rabbit hole goes when it comes to hip hop, according to Black Dot. So if you follow Black Dot and you're interested in these advanced classes, it's gonna be 90-minute classes of stuff that I go through that you won't see on YouTube. We're going to need you to subscribe. So subscribe now to our channel and you'll be linked into that.
Word up. Couldn't say it better. This is Urban X TV. Peace.
Peace.